Hi, welcome to Breaking the Panels. My name's Dean, and today we're going to take a look at the Dark Knight Trilogy. It all started off in 2005 with Batman Begins and finished with The Dark Knight Rises.
Does it depress you to know just how alone you really are?
Directed and helmed by Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale was Batman. It had an all-star cast like Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman, Anne Hathaway, Liam Neeson. But the most famous and memorable was Heath Ledger. Unfortunately, he passed away before the second film was finished. His interpretation of the Joker was excellent, and it goes down in history.
What are you seeking? I seek the means to fight injustice, to turn fear against those who prey on the fearful.
To conquer fear, you must become fear.
To manipulate the fears in others, you must first master your own.
What Christopher Nolan does with these films, he makes them super realistic, and it's something superhero films have never done before. To the Batman costume with his cape with electricity running through it so he could glide on the sky, to the Bat costume so he could turn its neck in the third part. He also makes a super realistic Batmobile, rightfully titled the Tumbler because it looks more like a tank.
Are you ready to begin?
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, and if they can't stop you, then you become something else entirely. Legend, Mr. Wayne. Legend.
Nolan's casting choice was really surprising in this film. For instance, Michael Caine playing Alfred was a real shock to me, but when I went to see Batman Begins, I fell in love with him straight away, and he really feels like that guardian to Bruce that he needs. And Heath Ledger's Joker, everyone knows how remarkable he was, but I remember him being cast from all them chick flicks that he was in before, but he was really psychotic and he really got into the character. And lastly, Anne Hathaway's casting of Catwoman, I really didn't get it. But as soon as she does that backflip out the window, she steals it.
Oh boy, you are in for a show tonight, son.
Also, with all the characters being super realistic, they even made the city super realistic. They got rid of all the gargoyles that we'd seen in the Schumacher and Tim Burton films, and they made it really into the real world. The one thing this film gets criticised the most is the Batman voice by Christian Bale. Yeah, it's gravelly and sometimes you can't hear it, but I bet you've tried it at home. But it really does separate Bruce from Batman, and we haven't seen this since Kevin Conroy in the Batman the Animated Series. And this review wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about Hans Zimmer's score. It is beautiful and it carries throughout the whole film. In the Batman Begins, it's very inspiring. In The Dark Knight, it puts you on edge with that humming sound that carries on when the Joker enters the scene. And you get the big drum beats in The Dark Knight Rises.
There's a storm coming.
And here we go.
Nolan doesn't use a lot of CGI in this. He uses it to enhance scenes where you see the bat flying over Gotham and the cape to bellow when he's flying over the city. However, using practical effects, you can really see this. And Christian Bale really got in shape and he's the best looking Batman we had so far. Unless you like Ben Affleck. I love the tech and the theories behind the suit and the costume and the gadgets that he uses. And I thought it was a really smart idea to make Lucius Fox know Bruce's identity. Without saying it, he gives him that little winking nod that you understand.
either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Even though this trilogy is dark and it's super realistic, it does find its humour, and a lot of it comes from Lucius and Alfred, where they banter off each other, and it's truly fun to watch.
I'm sorry, Harvey. No. No, you're not. Not yet. Did they kill him?
I'm not sure.
I truly love how these films feel like a trilogy. From Batman Begins for him putting on the mantle, to The Dark Knight Rises and he faces off Bane and becomes the Batman that we know and love. Yeah, it's got some well-known characters like the Joker, Bane and Catwoman, but it's also got some unknown characters like Ra's al Ghul, Zaz and Talia.
You see only one end to your journey. Endure, Master Wayne.
Batman has to come back.
I won't bury you. Buried enough members of the Wayne family.
Yeah, there are some plot holes in the storyline, and I wasn't a massive fan that Batman went missing for 8 years. I'm a big fan of Batman, and I truly believe that Batman is who he is, and he would never give up the mission, so I was a little bit disappointed with the 8-year gap, but it did tell the story and the gap between each movie.
I'm not afraid. I agree. To them, you're just a freak. I need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out.
I'm a massive fan of this trilogy, and I love setting aside a day and binge watching them all. I could talk about them for hours, but I'll let you get on with your day. What's your favourite villain in the DC universe? Leave a comment below. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And you can find us on all social media.